Advanced English Arabic Learning Session 86. Woodpecker is a bird with a strong bill and a stiff tail. Woodpecker climbs tree trunks to find insects and drums on dead wood to mark territory. The CEO's off-the-beam plans ended up costing the company nearly $500 million in lost revenue. I've had to keep that rascal on the beam, on the right track. I'm cheesed off about watering their plants twice a week, angry, fed up, annoyed. The waiter was cheesed off at the cook. Bat wings means excess fat and poor muscle tone in upper arms. The waltz is a dance born in the suburbs of Vienna and in the Alpine region of Austria. The waterboard came and dug the cable up. He had no compunction about digging into her private affairs. She never missed an opportunity to have a dig at him, mock or criticize. Officials dug their heels in on particular points, resist stubbornly, refuse to give in. The fender is the mudguard or area around the wheel of a vehicle. Endorphins in the body are responsible for the modulation of pain sensation. A scarecrow is a decoy or mannequin, often in the shape of a human. Two greater spotted woodpeckers were drumming. Waterboard is an organization charged with the supply of water and care of water levels. Vasectomy is a surgical procedure for male sterilization or permanent contraception. It's a wonder, the government hasn't been caught with its pants down. The kitchen was made spotless by the ministrations of a cleaning lady. She waited until he was out of earshot before continuing. The show takes wickedly funny pot shots at as many movies as it can muster. She posed hip shot like a model, having the hip dislocated. His family lived in a shotgun shack. My grandmother's shotgun shack in New Orleans. Shotgun shack means a house with no internal barrier between the front and back doors. The acme of snappy dressing in the Regency period. The boy being a minor, there would have to be a Regency. She realized, she wouldn't have a job, if she didn't buck up her ideas. A loose horse may buck due to aggression or fear. While galloping, each time I kick my horse, he bucks. Some saddles move differently with the horse at the gallop than at the other gaits. Lines of latitude and longitude intersect at right angles. Ellipse results when a cone is cut by an oblique plane which does not intersect with the base. Cystic fibrosis is our most common fatal hereditary disease. The main objection to the hereditary principle is that such peers are not elected. Following 2 or 3 nights of hard frost, my garden is a wreck. She was shocked to hear the frost in her brother's voice. My sister really frustrated me by using the last of my shampoo again. Your record is bad, but it's doubtful they'll give you the bullet, fire you. You can apply your lipstick, chapstick straight from the bullet. She was really bummed out that she never got to meet you. The rain drummed noisily on the thatch above her head. They have constructed the walls and are now thatching the roof. The grand old man had a full thatch of white hair. He had crow's feet around his eyes, a wrinkle. The figures are better, but there are no grounds for complacency. Complacency is endemic in industry today. Too much putzing around up there would ruin them. Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. You could watch professionals demonstrating lettering and calligraphy. The book was bound in dark blue with gold lettering. A timeshare is a property with a divided form of ownership or use rights. A timeshare is a form of fractional ownership in a property, typically in a resort or vacation destination. A timeshare is a shared ownership model of vacation property. They're a business, not a buddy who will do you a solid for being a good customer. Latrine is a toilet, especially a communal one in a camp or barracks. A communal bathroom and kitchen. Communal pride in impressive local buildings. Communal living refers to a group of people living together in a commune. Communal living can provide companionship for those who don't want to live alone. She was wearing her long raven hair extensions tumbling in tousled curls around her shoulders. The raven-haired dancer is new to the show's professional lineup. What does it mean if someone has raven hair? Having hair that is very black and lustrous. She wore her hair in tousled curls. She is leaving her brunette locks in unkempt and tousled waves. Pigtails hairstyle refers to twin braids on opposite sides of the head. If you often wear your hair in a tight ponytail, bun, or braids, your hair could lose hair along hairline. The third season ended, spoiler alert if you don't want to know, with the intervention of a lady in red. How do you write a spoiler warning? Spoilers have revealed the endings of famous films and movies. When he says spoiler alert, he intends to spoil the surprise or suspense for a reader or viewer. Banshee, in Irish legend, is a female spirit whose wailing warns of a death in a house. The little girl dropped her ice cream and began to howl like a banshee. She was screaming like a banshee. The banshee is a female spirit and is considered to be an omen of death. She was in the prime of life when she began to lose her sight. Pilgrim's Progress is an allegory of the spiritual journey. He attempted an atrocious imitation of my English accent. The ragtag had been organized into some kind of marching order. A person of my social status can't eat with the ragtag and bobtail at a fast food place. Like nobody's business, he walked out of the room and got into his car. Zap the enemy's artillery before it can damage your core units. The maggots attack the roots of the developing cabbages. The planes were spewing their skywriting above the beach. Most promotion is like skywriting, it appears and then disappears quickly. Relatively few pilots have the skills to skywrite legibly. The implications of this decision were manifold. The appeal of the crusade was manifold. U.S. aircraft attacked the pipeline manifold feeding the Sea Island. The city council has a manifold plan to beautify the city. Hepatologist. This is a doctor who diagnoses and treats diseases associated with the gallbladder, pancreas, and liver. He put on a gray shirt and loose cotton slacks. The weight load was pushing downwards, causing pressure on the strut. A steer is a castrated male ox that is raised to be slaughtered for beef. Unkempt literally means not combed, but use it to describe anything with a sloppy appearance. What is the quotient? The number resulting from the division of one number by another. Newly industrialized economies are racing to pawn off old processes on poorer countries. She gets a monthly stipend from the college. Cooter is a North American river turtle having yellow stripes on the head. Men who were simply the dupes of their unscrupulous leaders. I had dupes of a lot of programs on my laptop. Duplicate. Snap. They looked at each other's ties with a smile. A black cloth jacket with a lot of snaps and attachments. Our bodies can snap back pretty well from short-term bouts of stress. The earth beneath had been tortuously mined by pestilential rabbits. Pestilential fever. A pestilential weed. What a pestilential man! The aggregates include small materials such as sand, gravel, or crushed stone. What is the ratio of gravel to cement? The term soap opera originated from radio dramas originally being sponsored by soap manufacturers. He has a special fondness for cricket. The takeover could be a game changer. She wavered between believing him and thinking that he was lying. The flame wavered in the draft. His love for her had never wavered. She never wavered from her intention. She retaliated by resorting to a slanging match with the two of them. All this talk of a strike has clearly ruffled the management's feathers. When I go to a party and talk to other guys, it always ruffles my boyfriend's feathers. Don't laugh and giggle loudly around my dad or you'll ruffle his feathers. She ended up shelling out for 2 rooms. We had to shell out $1,000 for auto repairs. We shelled out an obscene amount of money for those concert tickets. The word marsupial comes from marsupium, the technical term for the abdominal pouch. A marsupial is a mammal that gives birth to young that are not fully developed. Few of the manuscripts are still extant, still in existence. There are only 3 extant copies of the document. Face masks make people uneasy because it feels somehow like being muzzled into submission. Why do people think the face mask is a muzzle? Bullfighting has been banned in at least 100 towns in Spain. The government's big plans for education are no more than jam tomorrow. As children we were always being promised jam tomorrow, if only we would be patient. He's way off the beam with that argument. We went to a wine bar and got totally hammered. She hammered on his door. He got hammered for an honest mistake. They hammered Saint Mirren 4-0. They hammered out their differences and got the contract signed. Whether they had been successful or not was a moot point. The scheme was first mooted last October. A stipend may exempt a person partially or entirely from waged or salary employment. This stipend amount is a predetermined sum paid by the employer. Students will receive a tax-free stipend. The enemy are at their last gasp. He snatched a last gasp winner. The last gasp of a dying system of censorship. Pain made her gasp as blood welled and spilled. Her crow's feet give her age away. When you get older, crow's feet often form around your eyes. He said with a laugh that bunched the crow's feet around his blue eyes. The paper is crinkled and the skin is wrinkled. The Syrian brown bear is the national animal of Syria while northern bald ibis is the national bird. In ancient Jewish folklore, Lilith is said to be the name of Lucifer's wife. Adam gave his wife the name Eve, which means life-giver. On the eve of the ceremony, Catholics protested against the beatification in a candlelight vigil. It is imperative that all frontline personnel remain vigilant at all times. The vigilante is a member of a self-appointed group of citizens who undertake law enforcement in their community without legal authority. The Star-Spangled American Flag. The end. Coming next. Session 87.